Every person wants to grow, to achieve more, to live with purpose and strength. We read books, set goals, chase success. But somehow we still feel like something's missing. We tell ourselves, I just need more focus. I just need more confidence. I just need to stay positive. But that's not the real problem. The truth is, most of us are fighting a silent battle inside ourselves. We're fighting against the parts of us we don't want to see. The anger, the fear, the jealousy, the pride, the mistakes we try to forget. We push those parts away, thinking that's how we stay strong. But in reality, that's how we stay stuck. Carl Jung had a name for this hidden side, the shadow. He believed that until we face it, we'll never be whole, because the power you keep trying to find in the light is often waiting for you in the dark. Ignoring your dark side doesn't protect you. It weakens you. It keeps your potential locked away behind denial and fear. But when you face it, when you accept that every part of you has something to teach you, that's when transformation begins. So today isn't about running from your dark side. It's about turning toward it and realizing that what you've been avoiding might be the very thing that sets you free. Let's clear something up. When we talk about your dark side, we're not talking about something evil or broken. We're talking about the parts of you that live just outside your comfort zone, the emotions, thoughts, and urges you've learned to hide. It's the voice that says what you're really feeling, the reaction you wish you didn't have, the thought you push away the second it appears. Maybe it's frustration that you never express. Maybe it's pride you try to disguise. Maybe it's fear that pretends to be control. It's all the energy you've decided isn't acceptable. We grow up learning how to behave, how to be liked, how to fit in. And in that process, we start dividing ourselves in two. We keep the traits that win approval, and we bury the ones that don't. We create an image of who we think we should be, and hide who we really are underneath it. But here's the problem. Everything you push away doesn't disappear. It waits, it builds pressure, and eventually it finds a way to come out. In anger, in hesitation, in burnout, in self-doubt. That's the dark side in action, not because it wants to destroy you, but because it's trying to get your attention. Your dark side isn't your enemy. It's information. It's the part of you that holds emotions you never learned to handle. It's the side that remembers what you've ignored. It's raw energy that can either work against you or for you, depending on whether you face it. So instead of judging it, try to understand it. Ask yourself, what part of me am I running from? Because that's where your growth is hiding. When you stop labeling your emotions as good or bad, you stop fighting yourself. You begin to see that your dark side is not a flaw. It's a signal. And once you learn to listen to it, you'll discover strength you didn't know you had. Let's talk about what really happens when you ignore your dark side, because pretending those parts of you don't exist doesn't make them disappear. It just makes them louder in silence. You can bury your anger under a smile. You can hide your jealousy behind false confidence. You can cover your fear with busyness. But deep down, it's still there, waiting, watching, building pressure. And that pressure always finds a way out. It leaks into your words, your tone, your habits, your choices. It turns small frustrations into big reactions. It makes you say things you don't mean. It makes you freeze when it's time to act. You might start wondering, why do I keep holding myself back? Why do I sabotage my own progress? Why do I feel stuck even when I'm doing everything right? Here's why. You can't grow while hiding from half of who you are. The parts you reject don't vanish. They control you from the shadows. When you don't face your dark side, it drives your life from the back seat. You'll feel it as stress that never goes away, as burnout that no amount of rest can fix, as anxiety that whispers, "You're not good enough," as perfectionism that demands you never make a mistake. Ignoring your dark side keeps you trapped in a loop of pretending. Pretending you're fine when you're not, pretending you've let go when you're still holding on, pretending you're in control when you're really avoiding the truth. And here's the hardest part. The more you hide your flaws, the more power they have over you. The more you deny your emotions, the more they define your behavior. You can't outthink them. You can't outrun them. You can only face them. That's the hidden cost. Every time you suppress your frustration instead of understanding it, you give away a little more of your energy. Every time you ignore your fear instead of exploring it, you give away a little more of your confidence. Every time you reject your own truth, you build a wall between who you are and who you could become. And over time, that wall becomes your prison. You start to feel disconnected from your purpose, your drive, your real voice. You start living a version of yourself that looks right on the outside, but feels empty on the inside. You can't create your best life while fighting yourself. You can't lead, love, or build with clarity if half of you is locked away. You can't become whole by cutting yourself in half. The truth is simple. The parts of yourself you've been avoiding are not the problem. Ignoring them is. When you finally stop running, you stop wasting energy pretending. And that energy, that's your potential. That's your power, waiting to be reclaimed. There comes a moment when you realize that running from yourself isn't strength. It's exhaustion. You've spent so much time holding it all together, trying to be calm, positive, in control. But deep down, you know something's off. You can feel it, that quiet tension that never goes away. And then one day, you stop. You stop pretending everything's fine. You stop blaming everyone else. You stop hiding behind distractions. You turn inward. That's where the real work begins. That's where the power lives. Acknowledging your hidden self doesn't mean you give in to your worst impulses. It means you finally see them for what they are. Signals, not flaws. Your anger shows you where your boundaries have been crossed. Your jealousy points to what you secretly want to create or achieve. Your fear highlights the places you're meant to grow stronger. Every emotion you've avoided has a purpose. Every uncomfortable truth has something to teach you. But you'll never learn the lesson if you keep pretending the teacher doesn't exist. When you face your dark side, you begin to take back control. You stop reacting out of habit, and you start responding with awareness. You stop letting emotions choose your path, and you start using them to understand your path. That's self-mastery, not silence, not denial, but understanding. And here's the beautiful part. The moment you admit, "Yes, I feel this," the emotion loses its power to control you. You've brought it into the light of awareness. It can't run your life from the shadows anymore. That's what Jung meant when he said that what you resist persists. Because the moment you resist your dark side, you feed it with energy. But the moment you face it, you reclaim that energy as your own. You start to notice your triggers before they explode. You start to understand your patterns before they repeat. You start to feel calm where you used to feel chaos. This isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. It's about learning to hold both your light and your dark without shame. Because once you stop fighting parts of yourself, you stop wasting your life on inner battles that never had to exist. You start living with balance, clarity, and confidence. You become grounded, steady, aware. And when you reach that point, something incredible happens. You begin to trust yourself. Not the version you show the world, but the full version. the real one. And that's the moment you realize the power you were searching for in the outside world was always waiting for you on the inside, hidden behind the parts of yourself you were most afraid to face. Now that you've seen your dark side for what it is, not a threat, but a message, the question becomes, what do you do with it? Because awareness is powerful, but awareness without action becomes just another form of avoidance. You've got to integrate it. Bring those hidden parts into your daily life in a way that helps you, not hurts you. So how do you do that? You start with 4 simple steps: observe, reflect, accept, and use. Let's break them down. Step 1. Observe. Start paying attention to your reactions. Notice what makes you angry, what makes you jealous, what makes you shut down. Don't rush to fix it. Don't run from it. Just notice it. Every reaction is a message. Every emotion is data. This is where self-mastery begins, in observation, not judgment. Most people try to be better by suppressing their reactions. But ignoring emotion doesn't make you better. It just makes you blind. When you see yourself clearly, you give yourself a choice. And choice is power. Step 2. Reflect. Once you've observed your emotions, ask, what's really behind this? Maybe your anger is about being unheard. Maybe your jealousy is about wanting progress you haven't yet made. Maybe your fear is about losing control. Reflection is how you turn emotion into understanding. It's not about overthinking, it's about listening. Ask questions that reveal, not punish. What is this feeling trying to tell me? What am I protecting myself from? What part of me needs attention or growth? When you reflect honestly, your emotions stop being enemies and start becoming guides. Step 3. Accept. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It means honesty. It means saying, this is part of me, and that's okay. Because you can't change what you won't accept. Every emotion you've ever had belongs to the same system that helps you survive and grow. There's wisdom in your anger, just as there's wisdom in your kindness. When you stop rejecting parts of yourself, you stop being divided inside. Acceptance brings peace, not because you've erased your flaws, but because you've stopped fighting them. Step 4. Use. This is where everything transforms. Take that energy and put it to work. Turn your anger into focus. Turn your fear into preparation. Turn your jealousy into motivation. Turn your frustration into problem solving. Every emotion contains energy. Once you stop wasting it on denial, you can redirect it toward creation. When you use your dark side wisely, you stop letting it explode at the wrong time and start letting it empower you at the right time. That's how leaders rise. That's how creators build. That's how individuals grow. And let me be clear, this isn't a one-day change. This is lifelong work. You don't integrate your dark side once and move on. You learn to live with it consciously, to check in with yourself when tension builds, to catch your triggers before they catch you, to use what used to control you as a source of strength. The goal isn't to become perfect, it's to become real, aware, and whole. When you do this, you stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You stop repeating old patterns and start writing new ones. You stop being afraid of yourself and start trusting yourself. That's integration. That's growth. That's how you transform your dark side from your weakness into your weapon. So what happens when you finally stop running from yourself? When you stop hiding your fear, your frustration, your mistakes, and start owning them? Everything changes. You stop wasting energy pretending. You stop apologizing for existing. You stop filtering every part of yourself to fit what others expect. And for the first time in a long time, you feel free. You begin to notice something powerful. The things you used to see as weaknesses start becoming tools. The emotions you used to suppress start giving you direction. The traits you once called flaws turn into fuel. You become sharper, calmer, more grounded. You handle pressure without losing yourself. You can face conflict without collapsing or exploding. You can hear criticism without falling apart. That's the strength that comes from wholeness, not from perfection, but from honesty. When you integrate your dark side, your inner noise quiets down. You stop being at war with yourself. Your energy, your focus, your confidence. They all align behind one clear truth. You are not broken. You never were. You just had pieces of yourself waiting to be understood. And once you accept them, your power returns. The power to choose instead of react. The power to speak instead of stay silent. The power to lead your life instead of being led by fear or habit. You start showing up differently. People notice your presence, the steadiness in your voice, the clarity in your eyes. You no longer chase validation because you've found something stronger, self-respect. You don't need to prove who you are. You know who you are. Light and dark, courage and doubt, strength and softness, all of it working together. That's what being whole feels like. It's not about never feeling pain. It's about knowing how to move through it. It's not about never falling. It's about never hiding from the reason you fell. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about finally being the person you already are. And here's the most surprising part. When you stop rejecting parts of yourself, you become more accepting of others too. You see more clearly, you listen more deeply, you judge less. Why? Because the compassion you learn to give yourself becomes the foundation for how you see the world. That's real strength, not dominance, not control, but understanding. The result isn't just a better version of you. It's a complete you, one that can think clearly, act boldly, and live fully. And once you reach that point, you'll look back and realize nothing outside of you ever held you back. It was the parts of yourself you refused to face. Now they're no longer in the way. They're part of your power. This is what it means to be whole, not perfect, not polished, just real, strong, aware, and unstoppable. So now you've faced your dark side, you've stopped fighting yourself, you've learned to listen to what you used to silence. The question is, what comes next? How do you live with your whole self every single day? Because awareness without practice fades. You can't just understand yourself, you have to live that understanding. Living with your whole self means walking through life with honesty. It means saying, yes, I'm flawed, but I'm still learning. It means no longer hiding behind fake confidence or forced positivity. It means letting truth guide you instead of fear. When you live with your whole self, you stop needing to wear masks. You don't have to perform strength. You become strong by being real. You don't need to control every outcome because you trust yourself to adapt. You stop living in reaction and start living in intention. You'll still feel anger, fear, doubt, and shame. Of course you will. But now, they don't own you. They're not roadblocks anymore. They're signals, reminders, opportunities. Every emotion becomes a tool for growth instead of a trigger for chaos. Living with your whole self is also about balance. Balance between action and reflection, between pushing forward and slowing down, between caring for others and caring for yourself. It's about showing up in the world with both humility and power. It's knowing you don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You just have to be real, consistent, awake, honest. And when you live this way, something remarkable happens. Life starts to feel lighter, not because it's easier, but because you're no longer dragging the weight of denial behind you. You begin to make decisions from clarity, not confusion. You attract people and opportunities that align with who you truly are. You start to live, lead, and create from authenticity instead of image. That's what living with your whole self looks like. It's not about being flawless. It's about being free. It's about standing in your truth and saying, "This is me, all of me, and I'm done hiding." And once you reach that point, you stop chasing happiness. You start building it from the inside out. So here we are, full circle. You've met the parts of yourself you tried to bury. You've looked into the dark and realized it wasn't out to destroy you. It was waiting to be understood. This is what Jung was really saying all along. What you refuse to face will control you. What you face transforms you. Your dark side was never the enemy. It was the missing piece, the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are, the part that holds your grit, your drive, your creativity, your strength. You don't need to hide from it anymore. You don't need to apologize for being complex. You don't need to pretend that light is the only side worth showing. Because your power doesn't come from your light alone. It comes from the union of all that you are. The moments you doubted yourself, the times you felt angry, lost, afraid, the failures, the flaws, the things you once called too much or not enough. They were never signs of weakness. They were proof that you were real. And when you can finally stand in the middle of all of it, the light and the dark, the joy and the pain, you become unstoppable. Because now, you're not pretending anymore. You're not performing strength. You are strong. You're not chasing peace. You embody it. You're not waiting for permission. You give it to yourself. You've stopped fighting your reflection and started becoming it. You've turned what was hidden into wisdom. You've turned what was feared into focus. You've turned what was ignored into your greatest source of potential. So don't run from your shadow. Learn from it. Walk beside it. Let it remind you that wholeness isn't about choosing sides. It's about becoming both. You are not the light. You are not the dark. You are the whole sky, capable of holding it all. And when you finally accept that, you stop living half a life and start living a full one. So the next time you feel your darkness rising, don't push it away. Welcome it. Listen to it. Ask what it's here to teach you. Because that moment, that exact moment you face what you used to fear, is the moment your power returns. You are not broken. You are unfinished. And every part of you, even the dark, was always part of your becoming.